Hey, Decluttering Club, I thought it would be super fun for us to tell each other our decluttering projects for the summer, because what better time to do some of this work when you have a little bit of extra free time and you want to really get something done. So I will tell you mine if you tell me yours. So what that means is you need to type right now in the comments of this video. Let me know what do you want to work on this summer? What is your goal? What area are you going to work on? Just type it in the comments because I'm going to be coming back and checking on y'all. I want to know, what are you working on this summer? And so for me, I have decided the house is pretty well decluttered, right? There's like pockets here and there. And there's always more, right? There's always things coming in, and that means there can always be things coming out. But for me, the last frontier is the basement. And we have a very large unfinished basement. There's a lot of room down there. And so things have just kind of been brought downstairs, never to be retrieved again. And I decided, you know what? I just really want this basement to be cleaned up. I want this, we don't really use it. My kids work out down there. They have weights, and we have thought about turning part of it into like a teenage hangout area with a couch and a TV and stuff. But I just want it to be, I want it to level up. I want things down there that we need, and I don't want anything else. I am at that point in my life where I'm like, it needs to go if I don't actively want it. There may be some things that we only use once a year. We have Christmas decorations there, we have winter coats. There may be some things that we know we're not actively using, but we still want to keep them on purpose. Cheryl says, craft room, love it. But for me, I really want to go through things and just weed out whatever's down there that's just kind of like, it's just there, and we don't need it, right? And I'm super good at letting go of things at this point. So although it could be interesting, we shall see. We shall see. So that's what my goal is. And my goal is to have the basement, is to go through everything. I got like a lot of paint supplies. I've got quite a number of bins. It's not nicely organized. It's kind of dirty. Like it needs some vacuuming, there's like spiders and who knows what. And we also have we have a second fridge down there. We have a lot of food. So there's probably I think I bought a lot of lentils 2 years ago, because, when COVID first hit, I was like, oh, we might, who knows, right? And so I bought a lot of lentils, and we do like lentils, but only enough to eat them maybe once a month. So I probably have several years worth of lentils, and I just don't want to keep them. They're just not going to, stuff's going to get into them, all that kind of stuff. So I'll probably put those in the compost. So I'm going to go through the food. I'm going to go through all of the storage. It's all storage right now. I'm going to go through that and just get it all tidied up, organized, and let go of the things that just are no longer needed by us. So that is my goal. And again, I'm super interested in hearing what your goal is. Lori says, my room is a needlework and divorce storage. Needlework, love it. Lori says, my second bedroom is a storage room with lots of totes. I'm not good at this at all, and I'm doing lots of PTSD work, so I need to be good to myself. Love it. That is awesome. Decluttering can be therapy. Did you know that? It could be therapeutic. It really, really can. If you're doing it, again, from a place of, being willing to take time for yourself, not rushing, it can be very, very therapeutic. Andrea, hey Andrea. Andrea is going to work on a bedroom that I need to get cleaned out and changed up so my middle schooler could have his own room. Ooh, I love that idea. And she's going to get the library cleaned up and organized again. Fabulous. I love it. All right, so I want you to tell me what your goal is, and then if you're not yet signed up, you need to join us on Friday. We are having a planning intensive. We're going to go through, we're going to help, you're going to bring your goal, and we're going to help you figure out how to make it happen. I think that a lot of our goals are not nearly big enough, right? And we do like to start out really small, but when you have a lot of time, right, we have from now until Labor Day, that's a lot of time. And if you can work consistently on one goal, that's the cats. Do you hear that? That was like the It's like elephants running through the house. These tiny little cats, they're so small and they make so much noise. When you work consistently on one space, over and over again, then you see tremendous progress. And I really think that we sometimes sell ourselves short because we're reluctant to set a goal that feels big. But sometimes when we set a big goal, then that is where we just blow our own minds, right? If you just set little goals, like you're never going to really be impressed with yourself. And the key is to not beat yourself up if you don't make it there, right? So I want you to commit and go all in on the actions, but that doesn't mean that you're automatically 100% going to hit the goal. In fact, if you set a goal that's big enough, you might not hit it, but you'll go so much farther than you would if you set a little goal. Right? If you set a little tiny goal, let's say your goal is like for the next 3 months, I just want to have a clean sink every day. I mean, that's okay, right? That's not a bad goal. But, if you've been keeping your sink clean for 6 months, it's probably not going to require you to grow very much. You're not going to grow and progress. You're going to stay put. And so maybe if you set a goal that says, I'm going to have my whole kitchen decluttered in 3 months, then you're just forced to level up so much more. You ask more of yourself and you're stretched. And then at the end of 3 months, maybe you get there and maybe you don't, but you get way farther than you would if you just decided to just keep the sink clean every day, right? So I do encourage you to make your goals something that's going to stretch you and be a little bit challenging. It's a good thing. We can do this. We can absolutely stretch ourselves. Let's see, what else do we have here? Robin says, basement, 4 kids worth of stuff who are age 11 to 21. This is exactly the age of my kids, Robin. 11 to 22. That's awesome. Back room is needing, where'd that go? Let's see, Paula says, all the stuff I own is in 30 tubs in my brother's attic. I have 1 week in early August to go through them again. Nice. Well, what I like about that, Paula, is that you have 30 tubs. Like, that's a very specific number, right? And you could, do however many a day. And I would maybe set a goal. How many do you want to get down to? Like, you want to go from 30 to what? Is it 30 to 29? Is it 30 to 15? Like, where do you want to end up? And I would pick that number and then work towards that, because that will help you make decisions in a more definitive, decisive way. And I love that you have 1 week. That's amazing, because you're not going to have time to mess around. You got to get in there and get busy. Love it. Lori said, when I had a storage unit, I always wished it would catch fire. Oh my goodness. Seriously, what is devastating to one person is not to another. I would cry, but as long as the people and pets are okay. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think people do wish that sometimes, right? They think, I wish that this stuff would just be all gone, right? I wish that a fire would just take it away. And I mean, but you could do that, right? You could walk away from the storage unit. You don't need a fire. You could just tell the people, hey, I'm just walking away here. People do that all the time. The thing is, a lot of times people are very upset when the choice is taken away from them. When the fire comes, I mean, obviously you're probably going to lose. Like, if a fire comes and destroys your house, you're going to lose things that you didn't want to lose. But also, it's very upset. It's very traumatic to have that choice taken away from you. You want to be the one saying, yes, I want to let this go. I want to let this go. So I would consider it. Maybe you just want to let go or walk away, or give yourself a time limit, and say, I'm going to pull out the things that I want, and whatever I don't get to is just going to be, I'm going to say goodbye to it. Right? You can absolutely do that. And just think of what's the benefit of doing that? Probably going to save you all kinds of money, so much money, but probably way more important is that you're going to, you're not going to have that burden hanging over you. That would be a really good one, for sure. It's all I've owned. Oh my word, Paula, that's amazing. Fabulous. Robin says, it feels so good to purge the trash and give the nice, usable stuff away. Yes, I know, right? So when people are like, I can't give this away, it's still useful. And I'm like, let's give it away if it's useful. That is amazing. That is so much fun. There's the cat again. I could show you guys these cats, but they're too quick. They're hilarious. Anyway, I want to make sure you knew about the intensive that we're doing on Friday, there was a link above this video. And geez, cats. The cats are insane. They're crazy. They're so tiny. They're kittens still. They're about 3 months old. And I'm like, what is going on in your head? It's hilarious. We are having a good time with them. And they wake up at night. Anyways, where was I? Let's see if I can show you this. This is just the cutest. You know, and if you are someone who complains when I take a little bit of extra time, then you can go on to the next thing. There's the cat, not supposed to be on the table, right? What are you doing up there? No. Come on. Come on. Oh, you're going to be a little monkey now. Okay. All right. So, oops. There we go. All right. Say hi. This is the best cat ever. He lets you do whatever you want with him. Okay, how do I get into that mindset? Yeah, you just decide this is what I want. And then you are not surprised when it's hard, right? I told the story a couple days ago about how when my youngest son was a baby, we discovered he had food allergies. And I was breastfeeding him, so I wasn't able to eat anything that he wasn't able to eat. And it was like everything, right? So it was like I had to eat broccoli and chicken and rice, and that was like pretty much it. That's a little bit of an exaggeration, but all the things that I love were all gone. And you might think, that's really hard. Weren't you tempted, right? Weren't you tempted by milk and cheese and eggs and, peanut butter? But I wasn't. Like, I wished I could eat it, but I was like, well, this is what we're doing. I had just decided that this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to eat the things that he can eat and that are safe for him. And that's it. And we can do that with anything. We just decide. And then when you make a decision, like, for sure, there's so much freedom and there's no drama. Right? If you really decide, you're like, this is what I'm doing. Like, let's say, the lady with the tubs. I mean, that's all her stuff. But let's say you had an attic. You had 30 tubs in the attic. Let's say you have 100. And you decide we're getting down to 20. I'm just picking a number out of the air, right? We're getting down to 20, right? And there's no argument. We got to get down to 20. That's what we've got. And when you pick that number and you commit to that, then it's so clear what you have to do. Right? You're not like, oh, I don't know, maybe 30, how about 40, maybe 50, right? You're just like, no, we're going to 20. So what's going to make the cut? And it makes it so much easier to make your decisions because you're just not like waffling and you're not negotiating with yourself. If you can make a definitive decision and you just stick to it. It's like your kid being like, well, I don't want to wear a seatbelt in the car. You're like, I don't care if you don't want to wear a seatbelt. That's what we do. Like, we're just not even talking about this. This is not a topic of discussion. This is what happens. And it's very easy. And your kid will know that. They'll be like, oh, mom means business. Okay. Right. Whereas if you're like, well, maybe this one's, it's special. It's your birthday. If they sense that, they'll be all over that like crazy. And then it'll be so much harder to enforce. We are like that with ourselves. So if you decide this is what I'm going to do, I have about 200. I love it. If you decide this is the plan, this is what I'm doing, I'm getting down, from 100 to 20 or I'm going to clean up the basement and this is what it's going to look like. You just decide. And then you're like, there's just no negotiation. It's like speak to the hand, right? Do you ever tell your kids that? Speak to the hand. I'm not talking about it. The decision is made. So we can be really, really clear with ourselves. And then, your toddler brain will not, won't put up a fit. If they sense, if the toddler brain, right, the part of you that's like, I don't want to, it's hard. That part of you, if it senses that you're not determined in your decision, then it will throw up all these, objections. But if it's like, oh, she means business, then it's going to go along with it, right? Okay, Paula's asking, how do I join on Friday? Okay, does it come up showing it's live? So it's not on the Facebook page, okay? The Friday call is a special call. You have to register for it. If you're in our membership, it's free. If you are not in our, if you're paying us monthly or yearly, it's free. But if you're not, it's just $37 to join. There is a link above this video, and I'll add it to the comments when I'm done. And you can join us. You'll get the planning guide. You'll get the call. It's a 2-hour call. You get the replay, and all that kind of good stuff. So click the link and sign up so that you can get all of that and join us for that call. Lori is asking, any tips on how to prepare for Friday's 2-hour planning session? Okay, that's a great question. So the most important thing is that you decide what you want to do. Pick your goal. Now, if you can't decide, it's okay. But if you can come to the call knowing what your goal is, you'll just be a little bit that much further ahead, right? And then also, if you know any travel that you have coming up, because we're going to plan out week by week, right? So if you know I'm going to be gone, during the week of whatever, July 7th, July 8th or whatever, you can mark that down on the plan. And then I'm not going to schedule any work because I'm not going to be home, or if every Monday I always go to the beach, or, Saturdays are family day, then you'll know not to schedule work on Saturdays or Mondays. So if you have an idea, that will be helpful. Those are the most important things. And the rest, we're just going to do live together on the call. It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be amazing. Okay, so Kate says, I like the idea of preparing for this will be hard. Yes. What if it's hard and we're all in, right? I love this idea. Like, I want to do hard things. It's not hard to do easy things. Like, easy things, nobody has to try. And they don't require anything of us. We don't grow. We don't evolve. And I believe that we need to evolve. Otherwise, we're just we're completely unfulfilled. I believe that we need to be growing as humans in order to feel fulfilled in our lives. And when we're not, that's when we kind of turn to the easy stuff, like the cheap dopamine, right? So your brain is looking for fun and satisfaction and all of those things, right? And that generates a chemical in our brains called dopamine. And, it's like, ooh, that's kind of fun. And we can also, so we can get that from achieving a goal, right? You can get it from running a 5K. You get a really nice hit of dopamine. You can get it from, having a beautifully clean kitchen. You can get it from checking things off a list. But you can also get it from watching TikTok. You can get it from scrolling on Instagram. You can get it from posting on Facebook and then 17 of your friends like your post. That gives you dopamine. But it's cheap and it doesn't last. And you actually need increasing amounts of it to get the same effect. And also it doesn't produce a result for you in your life, right? So super fun to watch TikTok, but it's not going to get you anywhere. In fact, it'll probably make you feel worse than before, right? So you have to be really careful of the cheap dopamine, because if that's the only thing if that's where you get your dopamine, then you're not going to want to do things. So I'm like, let's do the hard stuff. Let's figure out how to do the hard stuff. Let's learn how to do things that are so challenging, because then we feel amazing. And that you just cannot compare. Like the feeling of accomplishment and achievement that you get from doing something hard is so much better than, just eating a chocolate bar, right? You know what I mean? I'd rather get the dopamine from organizing than a glass of wine. Yes, right, Kate? And then you do your organizing, you're like, yes, I did it. And then you go have the glass of wine. And you're like, I earned that. That feels so good. And so that's what we want to do. That's what I want to do. I'm constantly working on this. How can I seek out more challenges in my life to do hard things, and then feel amazing and then grow. And, it's so exciting. Now, very, very challenging, right? Doesn't mean it's easy, but that's the whole point. So keep that in mind. Gail says, how much for the whole weeks of decluttering? So Gail, what we're talking about right now is just the call on Friday. So it's $37. And after that, we can talk about our membership if you're interested. But just come join us for the call and see how it goes. See if you like it. It'll be so much fun. I don't know. I'm not sure how many people are going to be in this call. My Zoom license allows us to have up to 500 people. But if we So right now we're under the 500 limit, but if we get a bunch of people registering like last minute, I may increase it to 1,000. So that'd be pretty fun. How fun would that be to plan your decluttering with 1,000 other people? I love it. Oh, there's Pat. Hey, Pat. Russell still quotes me. I love it. Yes, let's do the hard things. Oh my gosh, we can do this. Then you're all going to feel amazing. And you're going to be like, I did that, right? This is so good. We can do the hard things. So come sign up, join me for Done and Dusted. It's called Done and Dusted Summer Planning Intensive. And the link is below this video. I'm just going to drop it in the comments here when I'm done. And I'll see you all later. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Good night.